Hello, this is Alagappan Vijayakumar, and what we're going to do today is discuss some of the season fantasy questions that I've been receiving, and then also talk about how practical is being a fantasy player is. So first, we'll tick off the season fantasy thing. A Tamil audience will be familiar will be familiar with what I'm going to say. If you had listened to Bharati Bhaskar, ma'am, in the Ponniyin Selvan audio launch video, she says that there is this group that's around that no one knows, that's waiting for its time, but that's always around, that's significant enough, and that comes out when it has to, and that's the Ponniyin Selvan reader base. I mean, a lot of that can be applied to the season fantasy base as well. These are the logs that do not know they exist, but they do. They do in a large number, and they are as serious as they are about fantasy as the Ponniyin Selvan reader base is about the novel. So that's what I'm facing right now. I'm getting a lot of questions regarding how we should use the boosters that are available in the competition and a lot more. But thing is that and what I'm doing with my boosters. So here is the thing. I've stopped playing season fantasy for this year. I mean for this year's World Cup. After the first 3 days, I guess the schedule is mad. One thing, and the two, I think with the number of matches that are affected by rain, and what else, and with the number of matches that have been affected by rain, and the delays and the resulting delays, and the transfer cost that it's becoming a whole big mess that you cannot maintain. I think I made 4 to 5 transfers for one of those South Africa matches, and the match was abandoned, and the transfers weren't given back as well, but points were also not given back. So it was a bit of a mess for me, and I didn't really want to continue after that. So that's the thing about my fantasy team. And regarding what you should do, and see, my question is why are you still playing, and how are you still playing? It's mad that you're still playing, which shows a lot of the passion that you have. But anyway, I want to help you with the passion, because it has been 10 years for me, so I'm not as passionate I used to be once, but I can understand your passion, so I want to help you out. The first thing, what do you want to do with the boosters so there's 7 boosters. For example, you could use your the bowling booster for matches at Perth, and the Melbourne is the other venue that it applies to, but with a lot of matches being washed out at Melbourne, Perth is one venue that you can consider. When two teams play at Perth, bring all the bowlers in. For example, if you could bring 6 bowlers, make sure you at least have 5 bowlers and activate the bowling booster. That's one thing. For batters, I think Hobart is a good venue, and what else is that? Sydney is a good venue. So when 2 weak bowling attacks are playing, for example, if Australia and England had played at Sydney, what you could have done is bring Butler, Warner, and for example, if you could bring 6 batters, you could bring 5, at least 5, and activate the boosters on them. So the basic thing is keep in mind the weather situation, and make sure the matches that you are going to use your boosters are very clear, and they are not going to be affected by rain, because there is nothing worse than activating a powerful tool such as a booster and end up not being able to maximize it. So that's one thing. Maybe I'll also write an article, and I'll also try to do something about it, but this is a basic thing. Wait for it, let the weather clear. There's a lot of time. I mean, this is a mistake that I did with the last IPL. I didn't know, because these were new rules. I thought these boosters should be applied within the league stages, and only towards the end of the competition I realized that it's not the case. You could also apply boosters in the knockouts. So that's something you keep in mind. You have a lot of time, so don't worry about it. Just keep going. So this is sorted. You'll also hear some Tamil during this, because Tamil is my mother tongue, so I cannot avoid it, and I'm a lot more fluent in it. I also plan to do exclusive Tamil podcasts going ahead, Tamil podcasts and videos and fantasy punditry. I think that's an area that there is a big gap in the Tamil fantasy industry. There's not a lot of quality punditry that's there, so that's something we'll fix it. We are currently fixing it in English, and you'll get to see a lot of my work in with Ronas, and I'll be sharing with the exact ID, the YouTube video, my handle, and everything at the bottom, because see, as I know, as some of you might know, this is all new to me, so I'm not fluent with all of these. So what then is also fantasy gaming. We'll have to discuss in general about fantasy gaming. The thing is that this is a question: can you make a living as a professional fantasy player, professional fantasy cricket, or professional fantasy football player? But see, I think it's not. You can, but you'll have to be really smart about it, because daily fantasy, there are two ways to play daily fantasy. One is playing in small leagues, playing with consistent teams, but see, that's not practical. In one day anything can happen. For example, Sachin Tendulkar, if he had bet Sachin Tendulkar to score 35 runs in every game that he has played, you lose more often than you win. Maybe about 35. Let's keep 50. That's a standard definition of success. So when Sachin Tendulkar, one of the greatest batters to ever played the game, but if you had bet that Sachin Tendulkar will cross a 50 run mark during even his best period, 96 to 99, and even 2008 to 2012, I think you lose a lot more than you win. So you'll have to be practical about it. The best way to play daily fantasy is to as so many successful players have pointed out, is to play with a number of combinations, play with 10 and 11 combinations, and try and nail the grand league. See, this is something: you nail one grand league, you're good for the next 2 to 3 months. You do not have to win anything. So that's how you'll have to progress. That's how you'll have to progress. But the problem is that the price distribution in a lot of these daily fantasy leagues is atrocious. I mean, you win, you get to the first, you'll get probably. I'm talking at the more practical level right now. You'll get 2 lakhs 50,000, 5 lakhs, and 10 lakhs. But if you get to the second spot, you'll get 10,000, 15,000, sometimes 6,000. So that that sort of mentally does you in, because if this is something that I think I missed one of my grand leagues recently with a difference of like 10 points, but the winner got like 3 lakhs 50,000, and what I got was 1,500. Because these are the things that mentally affect you, and you'll have to be really careful when you are doing this. You'll have to be mentally stable, you have to be physically stable. See, some of the things I've read, and I've read, they say that to be a successful fantasy gamer, you'll have to be as mentally fit and as physically fit as an athlete. As a proper athlete, you'll have to take care of your mental health, you'll have to take care of your physical health, you have to have good proper discipline. So this is a proper field that if you want to crack it, you'll have to do it the right way. These are the challenges. So the other thing, small leagues is not something that's practical, and grand leagues, there are problems because the right league, there are not many right leagues, there are only few right leagues, and the price distribution in the majority of these daily fantasy leagues is problematic. So what you need to do is you'll have to do it in a way that you do not expect returns from it daily. Be part of it. It's not like you're going to lose a lot of money, because in most cases you'll return your investment back. So what do you think, what do you need to do is like regularly invest in it, but convince yourself, like make up your mind that you're not going to let not going to let get a lot of money on a daily basis. You're going to someday nail it, you're going to someday get a package that's good enough to get you through the next 3 to 6 months, and sometimes even years. But you'll have to do it in a way that you're not expecting it daily, because if you're expecting it daily, you'll get frustrated. You cannot play so many matches, so many leagues, that in a way that you end up getting disappointed every day. And the other key thing is to nail the right games. That not every games, don't go into investing in every games. There are few games where you'll get a lot of you'll get better value. That's one thing, and there are few leagues where you'll get better value as well. So make a list of this. We'll do a detailed discussion on this someday, but right now this is the thing. But the key is to be a professional fantasy gamer. What you'll have to do is also play season long fantasy. See, that's what I do. Even though I'm not a professional fantasy game player, I do a lot of other things. But I'd someday, maybe I would want to be a professional fantasy gamer. As crazy as this sounds, but that's something that excites me, because winning is the only thing that really excites me. I'm not really passionate about what I do, and no matter what I do, I've done a lot of exciting things in my life, but they all fizzle out after a year or two. I mean, some of the data analytics work I've done, some of the content creation I've done, they're all really good when I start doing it, but over there, after a year or two, like you start thinking, this is what you want to do. But winning, that's something that has always that's excited me for 10 years now, for 20 years now, right from my school days to here to what it's been 20 years since, and I've always been excited about winning. So fantasy, if you're a professional fantasy gamer, you could win a lot of things, and you do things right, you could win a lot of things. So that's something that fundamentally interests me. So what I do is it's someday if at all, but along with daily fantasy, what I do is I play a lot of auction fantasy and draft fantasy. These are all season things. You select a team and you get done with it. For example, if there's a World Cup that's come, we all auction. A group of people get together and auction and get a team. For example, if I get Kohli, none of my other 9 opponents will have Kohli. Kohli is mine for the next one month. And imagine Kohli, if Kohli had been mine for this month, wow, with the scores that he has been getting. So that's something that this is the type of contest that excites me, because the other benefit is that with this, I don't go through the emotions every match. That's not something that I enjoy. To put to live every match is a lot of pressure. But as in a season fantasy, like if you're not expecting something from every fantasy game, you relax yourself a lot. So what I do is I select a team, I draft a team, I auction a team. So with these teams, I go through I go through the season. For example, I have 11 players now. I have 11 players in my World Cup team. I have 15 players in some of my World Cup teams. Quinton de Kock is there in a lot of teams, which is a good thing, yeah. And I have a lot of hit the deck ballers: Mark Wood, Harris Roth, Lockie Ferguson. These are all people in my teams, and they're all wreaking havoc. So this has been a good start for me in this World Cup. And whenever I've done these things right, whenever I've had the time to do these things, keep in mind that this time I didn't have a lot of time. I want to do it the perfect way, but like with podcasts and everything, videos, I'm a guy who really wants to do things only do things when I can do them perfectly, but it never happens. This is why I've jumped into this. Maybe this is a beginner. This is my first. This is going to be my first podcast. So I've always waited for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment never happens. Just jump into it. I listen to a lot of RJ Balaji's podcast, and he says these wonderful things that you'd love. These are things that you should know. You should know at the right time to convince yourself to get into it. He said some wonderful things. For example, he said something about this doing things for the right rate, and he says that there was a friend of him that does things for 3k, and he was also doing the same thing at 3k, but there was a point when he stopped. I'm not going to do things for 3k anymore. Let people pay me what I deserve. So he moved to 10k. He didn't get a lot of chances for a while, but it's okay. He stuck to it, and then he got 10k after a while, and then 10k became 30 became 50, and then it eventually look why he is now. So like you if you're doing something, I do not know why I started this, but maybe I'll end it. So if you're doing something, make sure you do it at the right price. So yeah, I have absolutely no idea why I started this, so I'll leave it. Maybe I'll check it again and I'll tell you why I started this. Now let's get back to fantasy. So it's like daily fantasy, play daily fantasy. It's something that when even one of those, you do it right, and if one of those things clicks, that's a lot of your problems solved, and you're not going to lose a lot of money playing grand leagues too. So play daily fantasy, but keep in mind, do not depend on it for regular money, because that's not something that you should be doing, because it puts you under a lot of pressure. Play daily fantasy, and then but in season fantasy you get a lot of consistency. So that's something that's where you should expect your regular returns from. So whenever a major tournament happens, get together and pool in there are a lot of official legal that's websites that are offering those. So you can there's some really good websites that do that. So use those platforms and play with those who are playing there. And in that, if you do well, if you do the right amount of research, there's a lot of research that's involved. For example, I took 16 hours for every team this year, and I loved some of those insights. Absolutely love some of this. Again, lot of this you could see in the blog, in Ronas's blogs, that I'll attach down the maybe it's somewhere the link in one of those description sections below. So you do the right research, you pick the right players, and I guarantee you that in a year or two you'll become a really consistent and a really profitable season fantasy player. There are ways to crack it. There are proper strategies to crack it. There is a lot of research. It rewards you for proper research, and it's not as emotional as riding daily fantasy emotions. So that's something that should keep in mind. So the young thing is that yes, you can be a professional fantasy player, but you'll have to be smart about it. Daily fantasy is not where you should expect returns on a regular basis, but if you combine it and with season fantasy, with proper research, with proper effort, with enough time, you could be a professional fantasy gamer. Yeah. So that's, I think, we have discussed enough for the day. We'll be discussing a lot of things. We'll be discussing basic fantasy strategies. We'll be discussing basic day season fantasy strategies. We'll be discussing cricket and stuff. I think there's a lot of interest among my following for it, and I will be discussing it as well. Post match, pre match, and everything. We'll be doing a lot of things going ahead in line. So thank you, and for now that's it. I do not want to bore you longer. Thank you, and yeah, that's it, I guess. Bye.